Yo, Rich. The angle's all dicked up over here on the tube. There we go. That's a little more normal. Blake Hall, I'm wrapping your baits up to ship them out, bro. I gotta get this tissue paper out. Let's see here. Damn, it's too thick. My shears won't cut it. Casey, what's up, brother? What y'all doing? I'm trying to get this damn tissue cut. Chris, how goes it? I need some better shears. There we go. Now we're cutting. Oh no. It's probably a big mess. All right, now I need to outroll this. Hope I didn't dick up. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna cut this down the damn middle. All right, we should be good to go now. Put this one up. One of these days, I'm gonna find me some damn packages or some tissue paper baggies or sleeves or something, so I don't have to cut up this damn paper. All right, Dunzo. Dunzo. Let me get this one done. I got to get these baits to Texas pronto. Man's got a fish to catch. Marty Burns, what's up? I hate to do this, but I need to run in the other room. I have to get tape. I don't have any tape. Be right back. All right. I know you commented a while back, Mr. Spots. Are you going to the swim bait event in Texas? Chris, I am not. I've decided I have opted out of the swim bait universe gathering. Damn, all my comments were not open on YouTube, and then I had wow, I got a bunch. Vince, what's up, dude? Hayden, Kyle, Hayden, I might have. Do you see that Alumilite is discontinuing their micro balloons? That's odd. Hello, Jeremy. But yeah, Chris, I don't think that's for me, bro. I don't think that's for me. I don't know. Too many guys hawking shit for my taste. You know what I mean? For such a small event. and the time's really short. There's a lot I don't like about it, but like I always thought it was like an all weekend thing. Like you got there and you set up at like 8 or 7 or something, and then they opened it up at like 9, and then it was it was open till like 5 or 4. I think it's from like 11 to 2 or something. It's not very long. So that didn't seem that didn't make a lot of sense to me. Hello, AJ. Welcome back. Glad to see you're back in action. St. Chris, what's up, dude? I probably will be. I forgot it was Monday, honestly. But Brennan, that's odd that Illumilite is discontinuing their micro balloons. Well, the wife committee put on a curfew, I guess. I don't know what's up with that. No days off when you spend all weekend losing money. There you go. There you go. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. It is unfortunate, AJ, that the show was not fruitful. Did anybody besides Travis Stearman go to the Kansas City Fishing Show and meet AJ and Rick Clunn? Believe it or not, we don't have fishing shows here. We have a boat show where you might find somebody that sells lures of some sort, but I don't know anywhere in southern Alabama that has a dedicated fishing show. Unfortunate, but no days off when your little one blows through diapers. Hadn't had a good diaper blow through lately. It's just been Mouse is pretty good about not blasting us. And the bean. Changed my oil today. That was fun. That was fun. Truck sounds like a new truck. Do you need an address to ship all those baits? Jeff, I have an address for these. Actually, believe it or not, these indeed have a home. You think you could do something with that deep little end? I made sure that I took pictures of these before I packaged them up, because I have had a really bad problem with people needing rush service. Like, dude, I gotta have these for this weekend, and I'll like paint them, clear coat them, bring them in here, and just wrap them up and throw them in a box and ship them. And then I'm like, damn, those are awesome. I should have taken a picture of those. And but I chilled out and got these. Got the pictures of these, luckily. It's one of my go to Stuttgart, Arkansas during the week, Long Rice and Duck Festival set up, and visit with the folks. I could get behind going to Stuttgart. Is Stuttgart still the duck hunting capital of the world? I don't know if it was just me being into duck hunting, and like getting like the Max Prairie Wings catalog, but like because I followed duck hunting, but Seems like Stuttgart was more into the like even people. I feel like people back then, like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, that people knew about Stuttgart that didn't even duck hunt. But now I don't even hear anything about Stuttgart anymore. AJ, here's a question for you, bro. Do you think there is a certain product that you could have bought that you could have sold the shit out of? Do you think the allure of custom painted crankbaits is gone and past now? Or do you think it was just a bunch of damn tire kickers? I don't know. I don't know the answers. I don't know the answers. It's changed, but it's not only limited to waterfowl industry. I guess they also say the flyway has changed. AJ, if you would have been selling muffin mix, you'd have sold out of that shit after 2 hours. Dude, you could have done a muffin promotion. That would have been big. I always feel like there's always like a couple different crowds that go to these things. Like at the Classic, you see it. There's the people that go for deals. There's only people there to go to like wherever they're selling rods in a 5-gallon bucket where it's like buy one get one free or something. Like there's people that come just for that kind of shit, and they'll just like get their bucket full of like sale shit and then leave. Then there's people that are just there to exercise. Then there's a small percentage there that are like serious, that you have to, you know, that are, you know, they went there to spend money. Trying to think. Like I remember my dad went to a Buckmaster show back in the day. And he bought this knife sharpener, and I don't like it. It's like a flat piece of metal, and it's got these like two these two like sharpening stones that I guess are set the bevel of the blade, but you just like lay it on a table and you run it through it. And I never liked it because it never got your knife sharp enough. But this guy was doing like I guess this guy invented it, and he was doing like the ShamWow the ShamWow thing, where it was like, you know, you were walking through, and it was pretty smart. He was walking through, and he's like, "Hey, you got a knife on you?" And of course, like every damn dickhead in there would have a pocket knife on him. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me see it," and he'd feel it, and he'd like, "All right, all right, all right." He's like, "Feel that," and like everybody feels like, "Oh, it's fucking sharp." Like it wasn't that sharp, but it was sharp enough that you could like do something with it. But I always like just like a stone because I felt like I could actually get my knife sharp. And but my dad bought those, and he would give them away as gifts. And I want to say he bought like 100 from this damn dude when he got home. Like he called the dude up and was like, "I want a bunch of them," and he bought a damn pile of them. And he was like, he had a stack of them in his desk drawer that he would like give away to people. It was a cool gift though. But like I said, I always preferred a actual stone. Um, then as I got older, I always wondered why I couldn't get his hand me down like old timers and like Gerber knives sharp. And then I learned about like the material of the blade mattering. And then I think it was my buddy Blaine. He's like, you need to get you a damn side buster. He's like, get the chrome vanadium or whatever it's called. It says CV on the blade. He's like, those things get sharp. He's like, they don't stay sharp as fast. He's like, but you can sharpen them. You can get them really sharp really quick. And that was more amusing to me. So I could never get a stainless blade that sharp because I always got bored trying to damn rub that thing. But don't make fun of my 5-gallon bucket rods, dude. The year that Skeet Reese had the yellow Wright and McGill rods, um, I think they did a promo at the Classic where you like buy a rod and you get something else or some shit. Dude, they must have sold 5,000 of those damn rods at the Classic. Everybody at the damn Classic, I think it might have been buy one, get one free or something. But everybody at that damn show was walking around with that stupid ass yellow rod. And they were printing money at that damn place. I couldn't believe it, dude. Is he still with them? I'll dull one worse than it was when I try to start sharpening. Yeah, that's how I used to be. And I'm no knife sharpening expert, but I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know how to get one decently sharp to like skin a deer or something. I don't shave with a side buster in the morning, but ooh, here we go. F that rod. I took a 3-ounce swim bait to the head because of a Wright and McGill Skeet Reese rod. Doesn't surprise me. Casey says the Wright and McGills were so bad. I agree. My buddy had the cranking stick and the flipping stick, and they were so friggin' heavy. And I'm not like a weight snob. Like I don't mind like a reel weighing a bunch or like a rod being heavy, but they just felt like ass. And the cranking rod was a damn noodle, and the flipping rod just felt weird. But they sold so many of those damn rods. But that was back when colored blanks were, this was like running off the carrot stick coattail. Had the white ducats, and people were just going cuckoo over colored rods. So I don't think it was necessarily like. I just think people were so stoked on the yellow rod blank that they didn't care what it was. I needed a spinning reel and got a KastKing, and I will say it's been a good reel. That's what my buddies. I had a couple buddies back in the day, and they would buy the Pinnacle reels from Academy, and the Pinnacle reels were like $35 or something, or like $39.99, and they would buy those Pinnacles, and they would use them for like a year or two if they made it, and then just throw them in the trash and go buy all new reels. This is when we were in like college or high school, And but they did that because they could get a shit pile of reels for cheap. And you know, they go buy 10 reels for $350, and they were pretty decent for a while. You know what I mean? Like they weren't damn Corrados, but you know they weren't ever intended to be. So that that worked out for a little while, but I never liked the idea of doing that because I like working on my reels and being up, which sucks now because I've kept my reels long enough that like Shimano started discontinuing parts, which is hugely annoying. I think if they sell a reel for any amount of time, that's like such a huge seller. They should always have parts for them. But I've got a Stratic over there that I couldn't find a reel handle for, and I found some other. I assumed that because Shimano's are pretty much framed the same, I found a lesser grade reel handle that fit perfectly. Um, so if you need an old Stratic handle, don't just look for Stratic parts. There's other reels. Daniel, the grip got gummy, and you couldn't just buy the grip. Like you couldn't just buy the knob. I had to buy the damn handle, and or it was like the same price or cheaper or whatever. But I don't even know where that damn thing is. It's around here somewhere. I don't know. There's a spinning combo here. I think the best cheap rods were the first generation Berkeley shock rods. You know, it's my favorite cheap rod I've ever used besides the Powell diesels. Um, is my dad's got he's got like a higher end ugly stick. Pretty good rod, dude. He like crappie fishes and stuff with it, but the thing's tough and it looks pretty decent, and like it doesn't look cheap, and feels good. Can't hardly break the damn thing. I like the ugly stick. But like Hayden just said, the lightning rod from Berkeley was a pretty decent rod. We had a bunch of those between me and my friends growing up. Lightning rod was pretty solid. Um, but we couldn't. It didn't matter to us because we would always go buy our rods from Academy, and Academy had the greatest warranty on the planet. If you bought your All Star Zell Roland Topwater Special, walked out the door, and the door smashed it and broke it in half, you could turn right back around and walk up to the customer service counter and stick it on the counter and say, "This rod broke." And they wouldn't say, "You just smashed it in the door." They would say, "Go get you another one." And you'd walk back there, go get you another one. Off you went. It was awesome. So we would, we had, I mean, everybody I knew, we all were all-star guys. Occasionally somebody would branch out and go like Castaway or Falcon. Castaway mostly. Academy was trying to push Castaway a pretty good bit during the All-Star era, but I got a Falcon lowrider one time that I used to swim a jig on. It was like a 610 medium heavy, and it had like the perfect tip on it. That was a badass rod. I miss over the counter back in the day like that, man. It was awesome. I don't know if any of y'all had Academy back in the day, but we got one pretty early on. Like when I might have been in middle school, dude. I think I was in middle school. So like in the late 90s, we got an Academy, and the original Academies had like by the reel counter and like the pew-pews, they had a this open floor, and they had a soft plastic worm buffet, and you could just go in there and you could just buy like handfuls of soft plastics, um, and they had some pretty good shit on there. So I wish Academy would bring back the worm buffet. Um, we got Dick's that's lacking in performance of fishing stock. Shit is flaccid. Yeah, our Dick's is basically a Guggen showcase. They've got some decent stuff. They've had the big giant chatterbaits for months and months and months and months, but they won't get the damn mini maxes in. That really pisses me off. Because I want to get some of the mini maxes, and I don't want to buy them. I want to like put my fingers on them. I want to actually go physically shopping. But Jeremy, you're smart. Don't look at Dick's. We still don't have one, Nate. That's unfortunate. Castaway skeleton rods. Yeah, those were nice rods. I had I got sold for whatever reason on the Dick's is a shithole store. Yes, it is. We got Dick's, which should be called Guggen's. Yeah. The interesting thing about all that Guggen shit in Dick's is I don't see it moving. Like nothing's ever out of stock. Maybe they've got so much, but I wouldn't think that the people working there are so on the ball that they never let anything get out of stock. Maybe that's who knows, dude. But there's like there's nothing's ever sold. I run around to 5 or 6 Walmarts, snagging the lightning rods when they were closing all out that line of rods. $10 a piece. Wow, that's a pretty good deal. Losing hunting. That's interesting. Whoever the buyers are for Dick's are not actually fishermen. No, they're just dickheads that want to try and sell what's hot. All the Guggen baits are constantly on the clearance rack. Yeah, I think buyers got so heavy on those damn things that there's so much backstock that they don't know what to do with. Like they have to like sell it constantly. I don't know if they buy like that, but I feel like most of these retailers like really got heavy on that shit, and they didn't move as much as they stocked for. Dick's around here doesn't carry fishing stuff. No, actually, I will say our Dick's split, and now it's a Field and Stream, but it used to be Dick's. And when we had Dick's, it was they had fishing stuff, but now they have the offshoot store, which is attached, but it's called Field and Stream. I still call it Dick's. Can't believe they're losing the hunting stuff. That seems odd. Everybody's comments are getting flagged that says Dick's. Don't have a Field and Stream either. Well, that sucks. That blows Dick's. Okay. Nestle these little guys in their cocoon. Okay. I think I've got one more. I've got Sportsman's Warehouse. I've heard Sportsman's Warehouse is really, really good. Domin's Fury is a phenomenal cheap rod. Went to Disc and Frixo one time and said they were completely removing fishing from that store. Odd statement. Yeah, they might have been trying to switch it over to that other, to the Field and Stream, maybe. almost forgot these. I almost forgot the man's 1 minuses. There's a Bass Pro Cabela's and Shields in town. I heard Shields is the ruler of all. Shields is supposedly the shit. I don't know much about Shields, but we don't have one. Jeff, glad you got your box in the mail today, my man. Hope it finds you well and you like everything. You should, because it's got the damn sauce in it. I will say the best thing about Dick's back in the day was that I guess their fishing section sucked. Like nobody shopped there. So literally every time you went in there, everything was on clearance. Like I can't tell you the amount of like sale items I bought at Dick's. I don't know that I ever bought anything that was like regular priced. And when I tell you they blew shit out, like I wish I would have bought more of those. I wish I would have bought more of those little mini skeet crankbaits and like the Joe Thomas and Marty Stone mini square bills or whatever they're called, like the mini whatever. But I didn't, because I thought to myself, dude, you got enough Lucky Craft shit. You don't need any crappie fishing Strike King stuff. I mean, Lucky Craft stuff. Probably did. Get into bait building, you won't need a fishing store ever again. You're correct, Burns. You're correct. I would have probably got into soft plastic pouring if I could have ever found a suitable jig chunk trailer, but they always looked cheesy, and I didn't like that. So, there you go, bro. All right, got all this stuff in here. I need some more stuffing. Got this bros stuff. See if those work. Let's see. Tackle Direct has one of the sickest spooling stations they will ever set up your reels perfectly if you got to do big saltwater reels. Shields carries shit people actually want. That's usually good to do. I remember when I was younger, I might have been in college or high school. I walked in Academy, and I was so fed up with their Zoom Super Chunk. Like literally, if you wanted, they didn't like. It wasn't just Zoom Super Chunks. They didn't carry a jig trailer. So finally, I walked in there and I was like, who orders? Like, I didn't know what a purchaser was or anything like that. So I finally asked, I was like, who's the fishing manager? And they're like, oh, Steve. I was like, all right, can I talk to Steve? And Steve walked there and he's like, hey, can I help you? I was like, yeah. So walk with me. Let's walk and talk. I said, if you look, Steve, at this section, this is allotted for bass jigs, correct? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you got one you want to order? I was like, no, you have plenty. I said, but what I do need is a trailer to go on them. What section are those in? And he was like, I was like, that's right. You don't sell any. It's like, you have 200 jigs here, but nothing to put on them. And he's like, what should we order? I was like, you can start with Zoom Super Chunks. He's like, okay. And he like took out a pen, like writing it down. He's like, what else? And I was like, and that was pretty much the standard at the time because it would have been in the early mid 2000s. And I was like, I mean, you can start with that. He's like, what colors? So, flipping blue and black. That's about it. And he's like, okay. So they did end up getting some chunks in. So made all the jig pitchers happy. But a session in living indoor. Kyle, I always swing in anytime I'm in Baton Rouge. I always swing in Bowie Outfitters, but they don't have much. It's pretty weak. Shields in Colony, Texas, full size Ferris wheel inside the store, excellent fishing section, and tons of reels. Agreed, only place to get baits people want to buy. That's pretty smart, Chris. They got it figured out. There's one soft bait that if I could get a mold for it, I'd be doing it. Jeremy, what is the bait? Is it big or teeny? I don't even have paper big enough for these damn things. Do tell, Jeremy. Is it a bellows gill made out of regular plastic? That sure would be awesome. Not stretchy shit, just regular. Eric is sending out reply all crunkbait talk to all his peeps at work. No, I still would. Like if I was just if I was just still fishing and didn't have to like do this shit for a living, I think many years ago I would have been. I would have gotten into the soft plastic pouring thing. Because at the end of the day, being able to make your own jigs, if you can get a hook you like, that was always my problem. Is I was too small scale to ever get what I want. No, this one is a dry duck. You want one? I like them. They're the Sweatman is real soft and squishy. But if you were in Gonzales area next time, PK, stop by the Ascension Live. Is it live and outdoors or live? Pouring hot lead in or plastic does not appeal to me at all. Burns, I used to damn keep that lead pot smoking, dude. It was smoking. Oh, these go another thing. Those have containers. Or I need 2 more. That was always, like I said, that was always my issue with. I was never happy pouring lead stuff because nobody ever made the hook I wanted. You want a 5 panel. Hey, get with me, AJ, and I can get you some hats through Amy. Next time she orders shit, she can go through her little wholesaler and show you what hats you can choose from, or send you to the website, and then see what you can find that you like. Living and outdoors. Living and outdoors. Gonzalez. You ever see Hackney in there, Kyle? Daniel, no, the paint gun I use is not proprietary information. You want to see it? Do you want to see? I don't know. I'm embarrassed to show it to Burns, but I'll go get my airbrush. Not proprietary at all. Hold on. Let's see the magical paint slinging sword. Some of you may be cringing right now. Yes. Half of the nozzle cap is ripped off. Yes, that is paint collected around the cup. Burns, I would point him to a Neo. That's what I always used. Until you gave me these, I always used a damn Neo. Just peeling paint off of it. A lot of people talk shit about a Neo, but if you look on my Instagram page, the majority of, I would say like probably 85% of those baits are all Neo painted baits. Starting to come clean. The sweet smell of lacquer thinner. You can see the difference. Dillard, yeah, sure do. I've painted many. I've painted lots of hybrid hunters. Mostly for Guntersville and Texas people. But looks like it's growing fungus around the cup. Yeah, I mean it kind of is. It's a lot of paint. It's funny because I obviously have the same habits when I pour paint into the cup. Um, wow, that's thick. It's a lot of paint. Really, any of the small nozzle like the 0.3 or 0.35 or anything smaller than a 0.5 nozzle is not gonna is gonna have issues with water based paint. Uh, if you like, because typically when you're painting like I've got other brushes in there that I'll use for like base coating and shit like that. So when you're typically painting a bait, like having like I always thought when I was coming up, it's like, oh, I need like a little bitty nozzle for doing detail work. You don't. I mean, for the shit that most of us do, um, you're just you're trying to get paint on the bait as efficiently as possible. So you're not trying to do like paint hair on like George Washington's head on a damn quarter or something. You know what I mean? Like you're just trying to paint the back, you're trying to base coat it, you're trying to paint the shoulders, you're trying to paint some scales, you're trying to like put some crawl marks on it. Like it's not a detail thing. Um, but want to try the Tamiya airbrush because I've seen a lot of the reviews and say they liked it better than the Neo. Uh, my last brush was a Micron with a 0.5 millimeter nozzle. It will shoot just about anything. Yeah, I think that's the big thing is guys start off with these little um, micro nozzle airbrushes or tipped airbrushes, and they don't work as good. Um, uh, because for one, guys typically start with Createx paint or any kind of bullshit like that you get at Hobby Lobby, or they'll take craft paint from um, Walmart and water it down, and it's literally the dirtiest paint you could possibly buy. And unless you want to sit there and like strain out all that paint, which you could, but it's messy and it's you know a lot of waste and it's time consuming and all that kind of shit. But I mean, if you wanted to do that, you certainly could. But I think the key is to not get the little bitty nozzles. Um, I see a lot of misinformation with that. Um, guys recommending those little bitty nozzles to people. And some of these dudes act like they're fucking Michelangelo, dude. Like, oh, you can't paint details with that. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're literally just spraying like bands down the side of the bait that are this wide. Like, don't tell me that you need some, fine line like bullshit airbrush. It's got like a 0.12 millimeter tip. Um, Wicked is not terrible. I will say it's not terrible. It's certainly light years above regular old Createx. Um, But I think the world of water-based paint has come a long way, because I think it's really the internet, um, because guys are starting to realize that they make paint for other specialty hobbies that aren't, lure painting or what, like bullshit. Like there's guys that need nice airbrush paint for like certain jobs and certain little niche painting communities. And like for one, those dudes that paint the little like action figures and shit, like I forget what it's like Gundam or some shit like that. Uh, like they make really nice paint for that stuff. And you those dudes aren't out there blasting like the bait with Createx white. Like they're using like legit shit. And like even that Mr. Color from Japan, that stuff's really good. You see a lot of those Japanese guys paint with that. Um, it's good stuff. Looks like that. But it's thick at times, so you might have to thin it down. Um, but there's lots of options out there. Lots of options. Uh, Hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right here. I just looked at the Tamiya airbrush, and on their site it costs $260, but Amazon has it for $90. I don't know. Marty, my biggest problem with taxidermy paints is that they were always hugely inconsistent. Marty, there's a flaw in your statement. You use the P word and Createx in the same sentence. That could be my biggest pet peeve in all of lure painting. I primed my bait with Createx white. Sorry to burst your bubble, but Createx white is not a primer. If I was a bait painter, I'd go to Hobby Town, and it's more stuff like that than Hobby Lobby. Correct, Jeremy. Now you're on the right track, bro. Hobby Town has like good shit. It's expensive, but they have good stuff. Um, for those enthusiast painters. Um, but House of Color is the tits, dude. Brennan, you're smarter than most because of your last statement. That's why I said don't use it. God, the number of people I see say, "Hey, newbie painter, prime your bait with Createx," makes me angry. It's like, first of all, why are you giving advice to this guy when you obviously have no clue what you're talking about? Mike needs to hit you up to do some paint on those HD gills. Yeah, I don't know that I want to do that. But Brennan, yes, House of Color, they're ready to spray shit out of the damn bottle. Is literally a damn dream, dude. Like nothing sprays better than that. It is magical. But I feel like you need to spray some other shit before you go straight to that, just so you know what you're getting. Because if you've never sprayed any kind of solvent paint, you go straight to House of Color, you're just gonna be like, oh, this is cool. But I feel like you kind of need to like grow into it. Unless you're one of those kids that gets a damn Porsche at 16, then why not? Go straight to the damn top. 16th birthday, get you a 2024 Silverado 4x4, 2500. Brennan, you certainly should, because it's awesome. It's the best, but I don't feel like you'll appreciate it going straight to it. No, he's still looking for painters. He's always looking for painters. He messaged me a couple of weeks ago about painting baits. I really don't want to. Honestly, I don't want to. But because I don't think Jen and Bill can keep up with what he needs done, or he wouldn't have asked. Bugatti. Jeff, it is not water based. It is a urethane. But like I said, you spray anything else, and then you get House of Color, and you understand why they're where they are, and they have the reputation of what they've got, because, and it's the same thing with everything they make, dude. I don't think they make a water based anything. They might now, but I don't think they do. But like, you pay out the ass for damn House of Color stuff, but it's like their pearls are immaculate. Like everything they've got is just the top. It's incredible. Like if your wallet can handle it, yeah, just pull out the credit card and just buy House of Color everything. You need glitter, get House of Color glitter. You need flake, get House of Color flake. Like it's that good. Who was I supposed to tell how to paint a Hinkle, AJ? Marty, probably not. But I feel like there's been a push to kind of make some of those like hybrids. For California dudes. Oh, I didn't see it, AJ. When was this? Cheaper? Yeah, there's plenty. Go to like TPC Global. There's a million on there. Shit is designed for high-end designer painting on cars and bikes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like a week ago. Well, sorry, bro. Sorry if you're watching that I didn't tell you how to paint a bait, so you had to get on Facebook and ask everybody else. No, I'm certainly not telling you. I don't mind that shit. I didn't see a message from this gentleman, but I wouldn't mind throwing somebody a bone. But to seemingly stomp your feet and then run to the interwebs of Facebook and say, this dickhead didn't tell me how to paint this, so now y'all do it. Not that I knew how I painted it anyway. That's the thing about it, is like I don't know, dude. I don't have a fucking recipe book. I've painted for 12 fucking years. Like that's how you paint it. You want to know the secret sauce? Paint 7 days a week for 12 years. That's a start. Like literally that's all it is I mean, you know what I mean? How do I tell somebody that is starting? How do you tell somebody how to paint something the same as somebody with a decade more experience than them. That doesn't make any sense. How do I catch fish like you, Kevin Van Dam? Well, you fucking fish for a living for 20 years. Oh, yeah. It blows my mind how easy it is to find out something from someone now, but instead of just asking them, they will post something and just listen to 100 other people. Yeah. Just get in the shop and learn how to paint. You don't need step by step. Pretty much. Pretty much. But like I said, like literally 95% of the time, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not, pretty much every bait I paint is different. It's not by some like set schedule. You tell me you want a bluegill that looks kind of like this, it's probably going to be a lot different than the last one I painted. Like, they're all different. Like, I may feel like doing something, or I may go a little hardcore on like the gill compared to other ones. I may go, I may feel like doing like really OCD scales on it. Like, I don't know. I don't try and remember. I don't any of that. I'm not trying to remember this shit so I can tell somebody like how I did it. Like, that's why it's fun. But that's the thing, dude. Like, I can't even spoon feed it. Like, even if I could, like, you still have to have, some time behind the damn airbrush, like a lot. Ever heard of the paint brand Zero Paints? They look pretty nice and come in a lot bigger bottle. I've never heard of Zero Paints. Burns says I painted hundreds of crankbaits. Burns, I would say you've probably painted more than hundreds. I would say you've probably painted into the thousands, and still cannot match or come close to TK's skill with the airbrush. And I don't know that it's skill. I think it's just what you see. Like, I see something in my head that I want to put on a bait, and I don't think everybody sees the same thing, obviously. But I think that's a major thing to do with it. If you don't know what you're doing, as far as if you don't have an idea of getting something out of your brain that's original, when you're just trying to like take a picture and copy it, it makes it harder to grow when you're just trying to match something, because you're not outside of any kind of comfort level, or you're not like trying to push your mind or your physical skills in any way. You're just trying to trace something, right? I don't know. That's the thing of the past, Jeremy. Kyle, here's my biggest tip that I learned the most from, and it's the same in any industry, or the same as anything you're like that somebody gets good at, is that I learned the most from my mistakes. And it may sound stupid and cliche, but it's 100% the truth, because I've always for instance, I didn't know solvent-based paint existed when I first started. Didn't know it existed. So I had like Createx Black, and I sprayed Createx Black, and it looked like ass. It had those real spittery, grainy edges. Looks like shit. So I'm looking at like a Bagley or like a bait I see on eBay or something, and that somebody's painted, and the scales are like almost like transparent black, like they're the smoothest. It's like black water, and it's like the most beautiful smooth transition you've ever seen. Like, it's just You know, you know it when you see it. And I was thinking to myself, how do I get that beautiful black scale that's like not spittery and looks like ass? So I'd like crank my airbrush up to like 50 psi and start spraying that. And then I tried to like thin my paint down to make it thinner, and that didn't work. Then you just dick up baits because you're spraying water on them and it runs everywhere. That's all the shit you learn when you're coming up. But so this whole process of me trying to make water-based paint look like solvent completely changed the way I painted, because I couldn't get rid of the black scales, right? I couldn't get rid of the shitty looking black fade where you see like the spitter and spatter of the shitty pigment. So, um, so I said, all right, if I can't get rid of this, I have to embrace it, right? I have to figure out a way to hide it. So that's when I started like getting into metallics and getting into pearls and getting into all this shit and overlaying my my uh my seams, or my, you know, the ends of wherever my black landed. I would spray stuff over that to cover it up so I didn't have to look at that nasty ass stuff. And that's how I developed my style of like layering colors and like painting shit. One, because somebody told me to do it. It's because I was sick of looking at shitty ass black Createx. So you know, it's just, I think that's how you get there. Um, Brennan, I disagree. I don't think everyone has their own style. I think they'd like to have their own style, but when you sit down and you try, uh, I don't think that everybody has a style. I mean, not really. Not to the point where you couldn't tell them apart from like 100 different other guys. Like microscopic things, yes, but like as a whole, like you could take everybody from the damn Brotherhood and throw all their baits in a pot. You couldn't tell whose fucking baits were whose. You could maybe take like two guys and be like, oh, I recognize his. But especially now, since you can buy like, they all buy the same stencils and they all buy the same like shit. Like you really can't tell them apart now. Um, Burns says he never learned a damn thing from a perfectly built crankbait. Do you know if UFO paints with Inspire paints? Because I swear he uses this one color shift on a ton of his higher end paint job, and it looks like Rainbow Spectrum paint. No, there's a bunch of that shit though. South Jersey, Spastics makes it. Inspire makes it. I mean, it's just a holographic flake that they add to a mid coat. You could make it if you wanted to. Um, so no, it's not some sort of proprietary anything um, that you could pin to a brand. A lot of those guys use it. Uh, I never liked it. I never liked it because I didn't like the spectrum, the colors that were in the spectrum, because it was like red, yellow, green, and it just it wasn't appealing to my eyes. Um, but Spastics makes one that is super micron, like the holographic flake and the Spastics. I don't know if they have a heavier flake one, but they have a holographic flake Spastics, and that shit you can like hose your bait with it, and you look at it like in a paint room, and it looks pretty normal. Like it doesn't look like there's paint on it. Like if you spray it over a white base. But if you take that son of a bitch out to the sun and you shine it, and you can see it then, but it's like so thin that it doesn't even register in normal light until you get into sunlight. It's pretty wild. Um, but like AJ's a prime example. Like you could throw AJ's baits in 100 different painters baits, and you could dig through the bag of baits and say, oh, there's AJ's crawl. Easy. Easy. Those Inspire paints are pretty decent though. I have some flake that is like dust. I've got some mystery flake on a bake that I still can't figure out what it is. It's driving me nuts. I'll show my dragster body that has color shifting paint. Color shift's fun. I've got a color shift that I can't find that was from my water-based days, and I think Auto Air made it. And it was called something began with an A. It sounded like Agabocephus or some shit. Like I can't remember what it was like. I don't remember what it was. Agoraphobia or something. Like I don't. It was some weird word that began with an A, and it was a red. It was a red to green color shift, but it wasn't like a lot of the red color shift is kind of rosy red. This was like stop sign red, and it shifted to like Christmas tree green. And dude, that shit was so awesome. And I used it on everything. It was like my shad crutch. And dude, I don't know what happened to that stuff. Like I can't find the pigment. I can't find a powder. I can't find a gel. I can't find anything. Let's see. Aztec made great paint. I think it got discontinued, didn't it? There you go, Kyle. At the end of the day, you've got to have an imagination. What color do you think, or what do you think about the paint that changes colors on baits on water temps or outside temps? Do you think this type of paint would be effective in the water column? Chris, I did some of that. I experimented with that shit like 6 or 7 years ago. I've got a video if you scroll down on my Instagram feed, I did a little short video. It's on YouTube now too. But it was probably 6 or 7 years ago, and I took some color changing pigment from I think it was either white to red or clear to red or something. I forget what it changed, but it would change from white to this pinky red when the bait got cold. And what I was thinking was, in the wintertime when shad gets stressed, they tend to get like blotchy. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this color changing thermochromic pigment and put it in my paint and make this thing change color when it goes in cold water, and then when it's warm it doesn't do it. And so I did it, and it was cool. And I sold a bunch of them, but it never went viral like I thought it would. Maybe I should have pushed it more, but I didn't, because I was really adamant back then about like not being pushy with my content. Like if I posted one thing, I wasn't gonna like hammer people with it. So looking back, I probably should have posted those like color changing baits like every fucking day and just like made y'all deal with it. But I didn't. I would post like once, like I did it literally once or twice, like in those years. But it was a cool concept. The only thing about it is I painted some baits for my buddy Chad, and he said they set out in his shop outside in the freezing cold for like 6 years, and he's like, I think they just look kind of pink now. He said, I think they got cold so much, like cold and hot, cold and hot, cold and hot. And he said, I think they're just kind of pink now. So I guess that I guess it's the nature of the stuff, that it's not gonna work indefinitely, like it did when you first sprayed it. So uh, no, it's a novelty. I mean, it's just, it's cool to be able to do, but I don't think 5 years down the road or 6, 7 years down the road you're gonna take your bait and it's gonna have the same like color changing effects that it did when you just got painted. I don't know. But I did used to just do it on people's baits for fun that they didn't even know. Like somebody'd order a bait and I'd just spray some weird like invisible temp changing paint on it. Ever paint slide swimmers? No, I don't know. I don't know what, like, I know that there's paint for like soft plastics and like silicone and shit like that, whatever the shell's made out of. But I've never wanted to order a whole selection of paint just to be able to paint one bait. And if they're not spraying that very specific paint on them, I don't know what the hell they're using that would actually stay. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I had guys that wanted UV shit sprayed on their baits before clear coat. Not sure how well that worked. Who knows, Burns? Who knows? It makes you sleep better. Oh well. So yeah, the like I said, I mean, you get you get you get you get kind of bored when you're painting the same thing all the time. So you're like, what else can I do? Oh, I can get some. I can get some shit that makes my bait change color when it gets cold or it gets hot. Let me try that. Nobody else has done it. You do it. It looks cool. Then you just move on down the road. It's not like something that's like I said, it's a novelty. Um, those Hot Wheels that changed color in the water were the shit. They were cool. Um, Chris, I have not thought about painting soft plastics. Like I said, I'd have to buy all new paint for that shit, and I don't want to make the investment. Um, 2022 Elite on Lake Fork Sunday, running in the background while working. They are catching them all on different colored cranks. That sounds about right. That's why I'm designing apparel now. Lureworks has $10 solvent paint for soft baits. There you go. Load up. Load up. Brennan, you can take over as the soft bait painter. And then after a year, come back to me and tell me how fucking stupid it was. Brennan, it works. Do you think people that jump into color shift paint that hasn't mastered layering with normal solvent paint, that hinders them to truly learning how to paint? Yeah, I think color shift is really just a crutch, in my opinion. Like, if you can't do a whole lot, and and nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're just like, you know, 3-color paint guy, like if you like the like Megabass style of like paint jobs where you just like put a back on it, maybe a little accent color down the side, call it good. Color shift is for you, because what else are you going to do when your paint jobs are simple? It's something that allows a very simple paint job to look like you're like, know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I painted this with 2 colors, but the back shifts. It turns from purple to brown. I mean, it's cool. It looks nice, but color shift is for the meisters. Uh, yeah. So my favorite color. To throw or paint. I was about to say my favorite. I think my favorite color of all time to paint with, besides white and black, were like if you can master white and black, you're good. Like people look at painting wrong. Um, but my favorite color growing up was I think it was Auto Air Fastback Green. I think Wicked makes it now, but I used to get mine from Auto Air. They made a fastback green. That color was the damn shit. I used it on fucking everything. Uh, but South Jersey, 55 bones. My favorite color to throw. That's tricky. That's tricky. Um, let's see if I've got one hanging up. Mm, it's like a chartreuse Tennessee shed. I did, Burns. I thought I responded to it. Um, yeah, it would have to be chartreuse blackback. I like the gold scales. It adds just enough that it's not like so boring. So all right. Where's this gentleman's box? Here it is. Put these in here. I love the old bomber packages. Brown and red and orange. Okay, and a little stuffing in here. Put these in here. Oh, I got the hooks. Where's this dude's hooks? All right. Oh, you're asking Amy. I don't think I showed that to Amy Burnsy. I don't think I showed that to Amy. Megabass makes one of the nicest chartreuse blueback. I don't know. South Jersey, I'm with you. I typically don't like chartreuse and blue. Although the biggest bass I've ever caught was on a chartreuse and blue crankbait. I'm really a dick when it comes to the shade of blue. I'm going to go work on some baits and tuna 250 Butch Brown style. Hope it works. See y'all later. Adios. The Dead Ned sticker made its first appearance at a Arkansas high school today. Hopefully, hopefully she doesn't get reprimanded by the school and say, you need to get that Dead Ned sticker off your car. We don't support that here. All right. He's ready to go. Got a Yamamoto box here. He's about to be ready to go. They're going to think Ned is a joint, probably. Confucius says, Tacklecraft has been a very interesting topic of discussion today. Not too often does TK fold his arms. Did I fold my arms? I wasn't even aware. White lemon. She wore her new shirt last week and didn't get kicked out. That's good. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be responsible for a detention. All right, one more piece. Close your ears. Pop one of these on here. Cover this stuff up. Pop one of these. Okay, like that. Need a marker. This green didn't cover up jack, dude. I need black. Black Sharpies have a tendency of walking off around here. High Rock Shad got to be one of the all-time favorite colors. Yeah, it is a damn good one. It is a damn good one. I don't typically. Occasionally, it kind of. I don't know. Are you talking about the which High Rock Shad are you talking about? Are you talking about WEC High Rock? Because that is a badass one. Pink on black swim jigs. There we go. I'll just blow through some printing labels to cover up these stickers. There we go. Now we got orange. All right. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. Get that neon orange, crawl in the mud, and them biggins eat it right up. Amy knows what's up. Darius, hello. Oh, you're talking to Amy. All right. I don't know that I've had anybody ask me to match the High Rock. Yeah, you're probably right, Burns, because they all use the same paint. You know what I mean? Like once you see the colors, it makes it all, everything comes together. Because you could look at like a color schedule for the brand of paint that Ed used, that Cliff used, that all of them use, and you look at it and you can like see the base colors, the scale colors, the back colors. Like the light bulb goes off and goes, oh, well now it doesn't matter. Doing this. Oh, Daniel, that's my other cringe thing. Burns, I think you might be guilty of it too. Horizontal scales. It hurts my bones. It's like when you walk outside and it's really cold and you don't have enough clothes on and you can like feel it in your joints. That's what seeing horizontally painted scales makes me do. Amy, go grab that orange crank over TK's left shoulder, fourth down the toolbox, and crush them. Fourth row, let me see. Fourth row above the toolbox. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one? 1, 2, 3. Nah, she doesn't need to do that, Kyle. I think he was I always thought he was a polytransport guy, but I think he probably used both. Barnesy. Depends on your mood. Interesting. Why do some guys make such a big deal of neck scales? I know it was a piss thing, but I think it looks fun. South Jersey, I think it is indeed not a deal at all. I think one person said something one time and it became a running joke, and then you just got people hopping on that want to be part of the joke and part of the like club. So it grows legs and becomes a thing. Later, Rich. Thanks for tuning in, dude. You know what I mean? What's the frying pan? In case I gotta smack somebody around, Darius. Fish have scales on their gills. So they do. Your scales on site are vertical, correct? Yes, my scales are typically up and down, or the orientation of the material is that way. But I've never, I think it's just a stupid thing for dudes to joke about and AJ, that's what I'm saying, and they even have very fine ones on the chin, which most guys never get right. If you find out you can back password and check will current after you get the whole back wall. Maybe we have our directions. No, I don't know. Maybe the password is the password is. Name that movie. Name that movie. Daniel, depends on how you lay the netting over the bait. Amy, you already know that because I say that all the time. You're going in timeout. Just kidding. The Amy Attitude Adjuster. If y'all see me chasing her around with a frying pan, you should probably run. Banned. Amy's get the frying pan banned. The password is penis. All right. I got to get to the post office. We know who will win that. Amy will take the pan from me, and then you'll see her chasing me around with the damn pan. Amy needs a spanking, not timeout. You're good, Burns. Just odd. I have almost every model black label in High Rock, and he started painting his scales in different directions. I'll translate that for your statement, Daniel. Daniel said I have almost every model black label in High Rock, and he started painting his scales in different directions. It's odd how big of a difference it is. I will translate this. It's odd how much shittier one looks than the other one, is what he's trying to say, I believe. That's how I would translate it, because that's the truth. What he's trying to say is, you wouldn't think by just turning your scale pattern one way or the other would make a bait really look like ass, but in fact it does. I never say anything because I like for people to make their baits look like ass, because it makes my baits look better. So if I continually tell people, oh, don't do your scales like that, it looks like shit. No, I just let them look like shit. What do I know? TK, what do you feel is going to be the next big thing when it comes to techniques, lure designs, etc. this year? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be anything groundbreaking or revolutionary. I think it's going to be some just same bullshit that somebody's going to try to hype up to get bait sales, because nothing's evolved. I think it's going to be a meh kind of year. They'll try and push some of that, live scope bait shit and just dumb stuff. I think this is just going to be one of those in between years where you just kind of wait on something good to happen. So Frank, what's up, dude? What is the most overrated crankbait? I don't know. What do people think's good? KVD 1.5? I would say that. Overrated. I don't know what's high rated. Overrated. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think something that's like that's a bait that everybody has. Darius says a wiggle wart. I think wiggle warts are cool. I don't want to say they're overrated, because they did something and they created a shape and an action that nothing had at the time, and it did a job, and it did it really well. And it's a bait that people and bait designers are still chasing after and modeling baits after and ripping off and whatever else. Like, the wart is legit, whether it catches them, old, new, whatever. It created a category. So the wart is special in that sense. Overrated, underrated. I don't know that I would call it overrated. I certainly don't think it's over or underrated. I just think it's in its own little category of baits that change the game. South Jersey, I haven't heard anybody overrate a new 1.5. All I've heard is people blast them because the paint looks like shit and they feel cheap. You can't come to Arkansas or the Ozarks and say a wart is overrated. You can't catch shit on the Lucky Craft 1.5s, the new ones. That's in your brain, dude. That's between the ears. That thing will certainly catch plenty. Maybe your fish don't. Are you? I mean, I don't know. Do you think? Do you think, South Jersey, that you're saying in the allotted time that you fished with the new Lucky Craft 1.5, that if you would have replaced that bait with an original run 1.5, you think you would have possibly caught fish that the new 1.5 didn't catch? Is that what I'm hearing? 2.5 is good bait, Jeremy. One of my favorites. I don't typically like the 1.5. I throw it a bunch, but I don't prefer it. I prefer the 2.5 because I feel like I can get the same bite sometimes that a 1.5 does, but I can usually get a little bigger one. Like the 12 incher that'll eat a 1.5 will typically eat a 2.5 because they're just young and dumb and aggressive. But I feel like there is a class of fish that will eat a 2.5 that wouldn't have looked at a 1.5. The wart is not overrated. Somebody should make a wooden wart. Jeremy, that's just a big crankbait thing in general. They are certain any big crankbait is underrated in that category. Like the BDS 3s, BDS 4s, big BDSs, they're great. But I just think like the average guy has an issue with like a crankbait that size. I mean, if you took a poll like at the Bassmaster Classic and when you said, "Would you throw this bait?" People would be like, "Nah, that thing's huge, dude." Send them on, Corey. What kind of traps? Regular old rattle traps? Now you're being mean. I'm not being mean, Burns. Where's Sean? You saw the Lucky Craft 1.5 with the blade like a chatterbait, Sean. That really disturbed me. Ooh, speed traps, even more fun. Yeah, send me those things. I saw the like I don't know. Like that was just such a lame, like gimmicky move by Lucky Craft. Like Lucky Craft used to be so cool. And now they're doing like dumbass Z-Man shit where they're like, oh, let's stick a bill on a crankbait and act like it's cool. Like it's not. Stop. Like it's just stupid. Yeah, it probably thumps pretty good, but give me a break, dude. Darius giving away damn OG warts to Baxter. Come on, Darius. Rapala Brats were a little too overhyped at the time. Yeah, I don't know if those ever took off like they thought they were. Didn't help that they looked horrific. Caught some good ones on the 8.0. Yeah, 8.0 is cool bait. But I don't know that they're like I think these companies came out with them because it was kind of like an untapped sector of the fishing lure industry that maybe they hadn't touched on yet. So everybody's like, ooh, big big crankbait. Let's all do this real quick. So everybody pushed like the big crankbait, but I don't think like people really wanted it. And they certainly didn't want the bullshit everybody came out with. You talking about the live pointer South Jersey that had like the 15 joints in the back? Yeah, I feel like back then, like they were doing stuff that was innovative, whether it was like whether it caught fish or it ran right or what. They were like doing shit that was kind of unique, but like sticking a damn chatterbait blade on a crankbait is not like that's like 10-year-old shit, dude. You know what I mean? Like that phase of the fishing lure industry is long gone. When people figured out that the chatterbait was what it was and it was as effective as it was, literally everybody took a chatterbait blade and just put it on anything. And for a company to like Lucky Craft in 2023 to stick a damn chatterbait blade on a crankbait and be like, "Oh, look what we did," like is laughable. Like people have been doing that shit for damn since the chatterbait came out. It's obviously it's embarrassing. 6-cent square bills are now $10 each. How much did they used to cost? Yeah, Picasso has a shaky head. I don't understand that. That's what I was thinking, Kyle. I thought they were always close. I think they had one that was like $6.99 or something, $7.99, $8.99. I always thought they were in that 8, 9, 10 range. I don't know. Hopping on this overrated late Megabass S crank. I owned a couple and don't see anything special. No, I was not a fan of the S crank action. They dove too deep. I didn't like them at all. They had a shitty action. Decoy makes a chatterbait EWG punch shot. It's pretty odd. 6 cents, cheap made looking bait. Might be an unpopular opinion. I could probably agree with that. Don't tell that to the 6 cents mob. You'll get dirty letters and people showing up at your house to throw eggs at you. What? Uh-oh. Amy just said, "Oh shit," and ran. Let me see what she's doing. I'll see y'all later. I'm hoping she didn't burn the fucking house down. See y'all. Later, Graham.